Hello and welcome to the Plate Spinning Academy podcast, hosted by me, Nick Davis, a productivity mentor and multi-passionate entrepreneur. I know what it feels like when you want to do all of the projects all at the same time, with never enough time and energy to do it all. I'm a passionate creative who's found my almost perfect blend of business and life that keeps my head motivated, my body energized, and my heart happy. I'll be talking about all things to do with organisation, rotas, goal setting, systems and structures, and strategies for business and life together, all combined with a healthy dose of accountability and motivation to help you on your journey. It's time for you to find your tailored recipe for accomplishment and contentment. Hello and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to talk about something that we all dread. Well, I think we all dread it. I know I do. It's that question that gets asked every single day. What's for dinner tonight? I remember being a kid and I could not wait to be an adult. It was like, I can't wait to be a grown-up. And when you become a grown-up, you realise actually it's not as great as you thought it was going to be. And one of the biggest headaches that we as adults have is that we are now responsible for feeding people every single day of the week for the entire year, for the rest of your life. What's for dinner every single day? So managing your meals is very, very different from managing your housework because, let's face it, you don't have to vacuum today. And at a push, if things were really going wrong, you don't have to wash up today. There's lots of things that you don't have to do today. It can be postponed to another day. But dinner, we need to eat. We are human beings and we need to eat every day. And we need to make that interesting. And we need to make that a healthy choice. And there's lots and lots of things. It's not just a case of, oh, I'll just make whatever. I'll just make spag bol again. Or I'll make chili, or I'll do a salad, or I'll make some chicken. There's so much to consider. It's not just as simple as, if you want to eat properly, if you want to eat healthily, it's not just simple as just opening up a packet and chucking it in the oven or the air fryer. There's lots and lots of things to think about, and this is forming part of the mental load, which I'll talk about in another episode. But for today, I'm just talking about food. You imagine having to consider feeding a family every single day. You've got to be thinking about, have we got food in? What we're going to eat? Has anybody got an allergy? When was the last time we had this meal? Are we eating enough varied food? Are we getting enough fruit and veg? Are we getting enough vitamins and minerals? There's so much to consider. And if we get it wrong, we're dealing with health problems. So how do we manage our meals every single day? I'd love to have a magic wand, I really would. And I'll be honest, I don't really thrive on cooking. For those of you that don't know me, I'm mum and stepmom in quite a big blended family. And for the last 10 years, I've been cooking for at least 7 people on an almost daily basis. Some days I was cooking for 17. At the moment, we're actually only cooking for 4 because we've had 2 just go off to university. So food has been a massive part of my mental load over the last few years, making sure everybody's fed. And more recently, we've got some food allergies to consider as well. And also potentially some, I won't say trauma, but potentially some issues around what the kids are eating. Certain things that they didn't want to eat or weren't prepared to eat or weren't even prepared to try at one point. So for me, it's been necessary to put meal plans into place, because when you've suddenly got 5 kids shouting at you that they're hungry and they want the tea, you better make sure that you've got some food in that cupboard. So it's not just about putting a meal plan together. It's also about the shopping list. It's about making sure that the cupboards are full. It's making all of that easier. We've tried all the menu boxes that you can get delivered. We've tried all sorts of different things, and it hasn't worked out for us. There's either too much or not enough, or it's too expensive, or it's just not been practical for us. So for my household, cooking from scratch has been the best way forward, and particularly for myself, from a health point of view, I need to make sure that I am reducing my processed foods as much as possible. So for me, if I can cook it from scratch, that's going to be so much better. But when you've got so much going on, particularly when you're running a business as well, you've got so much going on in your head. Even if you put a meal plan together, you've got to remember, if you need to get something out of the freezer, you have to do that in the morning or the night before. And if you forget to do that, then the meal plan goes out of the window. Another time when the meal plan goes out of the window is when you've set it all out. And I did this a few weeks ago. I set out a meal plan for the week. We had all of the food in, and I was that busy that when it came to it, I just did not have the capacity to cook. And we ended up getting takeaway, which then puts more financial pressure on everything. And then you don't feel great the day after, because you're like, I've not eaten very well. So we need to be eating better food, yeah? So how do we make this as easy as possible? And it starts with you. It's all about what you're going to eat, what your family is going to eat. And there's lots and lots of myths around meal plans. I've heard comments such as, well, I don't want to eat the same thing every day, or I don't want to eat leftovers. And that's a bit of a myth, because that's not what a meal plan is about. A meal plan is just about planning out a few days ahead and getting rid of some of that mental clutter, so that you know the decision has been made. In 3 days' time, you're going to be having whatever meal you've decided to have. It's giving you back some headspace. And the planning in advance then means you can do your shopping list. And if you do your online shop, that saves you having to go to the supermarket. It saves you having to spend fuel to go to the supermarket. It saves you having to put all the stuff in the trolley, get all the stuff out, put it in the car, get it all out. It's delivered directly to your door at a really affordable price. And if you get this right, actually, what's for dinner every single night can be so much easier. And remember that even if you've written it down, the meal plan isn't set in stone. Things change. And I'm very much an advocate for having a system in place and having a structure in place that you can then mould and shape depending on how your week is going. So change it up. It really doesn't matter. It'll also help with food waste as well. And yeah, we have leftovers, and we will make a spaghetti bolognese one night, and then the next night there'll be enough left over that we'll turn that into a chili, or we'll turn it into a lasagna. And we really do get like the best out of the food that we do cook. And cooking for so many people as well, it can become tedious and laborious, and you just at the point where I don't want to do this again this week. So you make the best of what you've got. So if I was to tell you that I could actually create a meal plan for the year, how would you feel about that? It's actually quite simple. I just do a meal plan for the week and then do another one, so it's over 2 weeks, and then I just replicate it by 4, and then I replicate it by more. Change it up again depending on the seasons. So in summer, we'll have lots of chickens and salads and jacket potatoes. And in winter, we swap that round for casseroles and stews and shepherd's pies and all sorts of things like that. It's not boring, actually. It's really good, hearty, wholesome food. So it works for us. And even if you were to just plan out the next few days, you'd be amazed at how much headspace that's going to give you back. Just give it a try. Something that can make that a little bit easier is I've got a little planner, a little 52-week meal planner on Amazon that you can buy, and I'll put a link in the show notes. It's not anything complicated. It's just a little page for each week, and you just write down what you're going to have for your lunch, what you're going to have for your dinner. And there's a shopping list page as well. So you can look at, whilst you're creating your meal plan, you're also creating a shopping list at the same time. It's just a little bit of something just to make life that little bit easier. Give it a go and let me know how you get on. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Come and find me on socials. I've got a couple of free groups you can find on my profile that you are welcome to join. I'd love to hear more about what you'd like me to talk about on the podcast, and I would welcome your ideas for future episodes.